Welcome, 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 welcome to the Mind Fuck Podcast. Welcome, my friend. Thank you so much for taking time out to hang out with me. Thank you so much. I really, truly appreciate you being here. Welcome. My name is Wonu Aleshe. Sometimes I do go by Amazing Soul. Woo! Pretty excited for today's episode as always. It's always fun being here. Right before I start, I always read something I titled Reminders to Being Human. It always serves as a beautiful reminder to me in my life, and the intent behind it is by sharing it every day on the episode. It hopefully should serve as a beautiful reminder to you in your life. All right. Reminders to being human. Have fun along the journey. Show yourself compassion. Be kind to others. Being complex and being simple can hold true in the same breath. Stay curious. Hold space for pauses. Hold space for not knowing. Never underestimate the power of silence. Nature has a lot of wisdom. Pay attention. There is power in we than I. If nothing else makes sense, come back to love. Pain is our greatest teacher. And the very last one, never underestimate your ripple of existence. Welcome once again. Let's get into it on today's episode. You see, I want to start with something that surprised me. And I want to say off the bat that this episode isn't really about decluttering. It's not about minimalism. It's not about organizing beans. It's not even about having a perfectly clean home or an aesthetic phone screen. No, it's far from it. It's about what my nervous system started to tell me once the noise finally got quiet enough to hear it. Right? So, for a very long time in my life, I thought clutter was neutral. I just thought it was stuff, just apps, just bunch of emails, several tabs open on your computer, or just clothes I might wear one day and I don't wear anymore, or just things I didn't have energy to deal with yet. That's what I thought decluttering was about. I didn't think it was doing anything to me, but my body knew otherwise. Let me start with my phone. You see, there was a period of my life where my phone literally felt like an extension of my nervous system. I'll explain. So, notifications constantly buzzing, my unread messages piling up, and some apps I hadn't opened in months, or even photos I never looked at. And sometimes my notes app filled with half finished thoughts, or even screenshots of things I thought I would need later, but I never came back to. right? But here's the part I didn't realize at that time. Every time I unlocked my phone, my body suddenly braced. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't even consciously. It was just a small tightening, right? Like my nervous system was saying to me, something is about to demand something from me, even when nothing did. You see, I would open my phone to check the time, and suddenly I would just feel overwhelmed. And it wasn't because anything bad was happening. It was because my nervous system was scanning for chaos. Like my nervous system was scanning for, and my brain was scanning for too many choices, too many inputs, too many reminders of things unfinished every time I opened my phone. And I started to notice something important. My brain could intellectually handle it, but my body could not. And my body didn't care that I knew I would respond later. My body just saw volume, right? So one day, it finally clicked. Without a big plan, without a dramatic reset, I gently started deleting stuff. I mean, my old apps, the unused apps on my phone, apps I downloaded during old versions of myself. And that took a while. That took months. And what shocked me wasn't the visual difference. No, it was the internal one. You see, doing that process, I started to feel my breath change. I didn't expect that. I didn't feel accomplished. I didn't feel productive. No, I felt quieter. Oh my God, so much quieter. Like my nervous system stopped scanning for a second. It was such a powerful, subtle experience for me. And that's when I realized something very important. Clutter isn't just visual, it's anticipatory. You see, each item holds a tiny not yet, a tiny remember this, a tiny don't forget, a tiny one day, right? And the nervous system doesn't hear one day, it still hears still open. That's what our nervous system does. Then I started noticing the same pattern in my home, right? Closets full of clothes I didn't wear. Surfaces that started slowly collecting things over time. It wasn't anything extreme, it wasn't anything dramatic, just accumulation over time. And again, I told myself at that time it did not matter. But my body, my friend, told a completely different story. I started to notice that I felt more tired at home than I should have. I wasn't exhausted. I wasn't burnt out. I just felt heavy, right? Like My system never fully landed. That's how I felt. And when I slowed down enough to feel into that sensation, I realized something very interesting. Every object carried a story. It was either a past version of me, an obligation, a should, a memory I hadn't integrated yet, a version of myself I no longer was, but I had not released. This is where the nervous system piece really clicked for me, right? My body wasn't reacting to the objects. No, no, no. Far from it. My body was reacting to the unsolved relationships attached to those objects. Do you see the difference? The unfinished chapters, the paused decisions, the deferred endings. That's what my body was reacting to. And my nervous system doesn't like suspended endings. No. My nervous system likes completion, clarity, and predictability. So once I started to have those light bulb moments, I started small, baby steps. It wasn't not a purge. It wasn't a big decluttering day. No, no, no. Baby steps. Just one drawer, one shelf, one corner of the room. Baby steps, my friend. And I paid attention, not to what I was keeping or throwing away, but to what my body did while I was doing that. And this part is very, very, very important, my friend. Because while I was doing that exercise of decluttering my physical space, some items felt neutral, some felt light, and some felt unexpectedly heavy. You know, I will pick something up and feel a tightness in my chest or a sinking feeling in my stomach. And that's when I realized, oh my God, this is not about organization. No, 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 far from it. This was about grief. Woo! For me, it was grief for old identities, grief for expectation I never fulfilled, grief for versions of myself that were built on survival, not alignment. And you see, my friend, my nervous system needed permission to let those go. Not intellectually, physically. Here's something else that I noticed. As my physical space became simpler, my thoughts started to slow down. Oh my God. That was a huge moment for me. It didn't disappear. I didn't become more enlightened, just less urgent, less demanding, and less noisy. There was less chatter in my brain, in my mind. And that told me something I couldn't unsee again. My environment was constantly asking my nervous system to process more than it needed to. Even when I thought I was resting. Woo! You see, for a long time, I used to think rest was about just lying down. If you just lie down and try to close your eyes, you're resting. Now, I understand that rest is also about reducing inputs, fewer decisions, fewer reminders, fewer signals of incomplete. That is what true rest is. And decluttering did that in a way meditation never quite did for me on my journey. Because my body could finally relax into the space. You see, another thing that actually surprised me on this journey is I actually became kinder to myself. That was huge. Not because I was trying to be, but because my system wasn't in low level defense mode all day. So kindness entered the room. So when your nervous system isn't constantly bracing, you have more capacity for softness. You have more patience, you have more compassion, and most importantly, you have more presence. So here's what decluttering taught me at the deepest level that I would love to share with you. My nervous system responds to clarity as safety. Now, not perfection, not emptiness, clarity. Clear space, clear endings, clear signals, right? And for me, clutter, whether it was physical or digital, is often just unresolved life sitting quietly around us. You see, my friend, this episode isn't an invitation to throw everything you own away. No, it's an invitation to notice, right? Notice how your body feels when you open your phone. Notice how your breath changes in certain rooms. Notice what you avoid touching. Notice what feels heavy for no obvious reason, right? That's not laziness. That is your nervous system intelligence. You see, your nervous system is constantly communicating with your external environment. For me, decluttering became a conversation with my body. That's what that did for me. And it started to become a very slow conversation, a gentler conversation with my body. A conversation that said, you don't need to carry everything you once needed to survive. That's powerful. And my system could finally exhale. You see, my friend, if there's one thing I hope you take from this, it's this. Sometimes regulation doesn't come from doing more. No, it comes from holding less. I mean, less noise, less obligation, less unfinished energy. And when your nervous system feels that shift, everything else starts to reorganize itself naturally. That's the power of decluttering. Not because you force change, far from it, but because you finally give yourself permission and room for safety to land in your body. I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for listening. And I'm sending you so much love from my heart to yours. Thank you.